The Alaskan bush people family, they're all grifters and scammers. If you didn't know already from watching the show, which is laughably one of the fakest shows on Discovery that I think I've ever seen, although they, for some reason, have a very dedicated group of fans that are all like boomer, Gen X age people that are in these Facebook groups like, no, they're real. They live out in the woods and they literally hunt for fish with their bare hands, okay? Like, you don't know shit, all right? Regardless, if you've never heard of this show, basically the premise is that there's this family that live out in the bush of Australia, meaning very desolate, out in the middle of nowhere woods where their basically only neighbors are bears. At least that's what they want you to think. Now, throughout the show, there's been many controversies, but the number one controversy has been about the whole premise of the show itself. The father of this family, Billy, I believe he has his wife, and then there's, I think, 5 or 4 boys and 2 daughters. It's hard to keep track of them. They're all weird in their own aspect. Basically, there's this story that they got into some legal trouble over him basically stealing the rights to this story that he, yes, made up. No, this family has not been living out in the woods for their entire lives. If you watched a single episode, you could see how actually terrible they are at surviving the wilderness. Like, the smallest thing will happen and this family is thrown into chaos as if the world is ending. But yeah, needless to say, the entire show was based on a premise that doesn't really exist, and Discovery saw this and was like, well, this family's weird enough and I guess good enough in front of our cameras that we can have sort of a TLC-esque show showing off this weird-ass family that gives off the most homeschool vibes you will ever see. But regardless, the show was successful. They lasted like 10 seasons until, sadly, the father of the family, Billy, the guy who I just talked about, passed away. Now, I'm not here to shit on his image and, you know, spit on his grave or anything, but it's very clear this guy was kind of the only glue holding together this whole grift of this family living out in the woods and not being really around society at all. At least that's the premise that they want to show off with the show. I mean, seriously, there's these weird skits where they go into town and they're trying Listerine strips and shit like that, and they're like, wow, the normal world's so crazy. It's almost like they're Amish or something. They just act like they've been completely shut off from the world, which clearly couldn't be farther from the truth. And now that Billy has passed away and the show ended because, well, really, it just stopped being entertaining to watch these idiots fail through life, the entire grift of them acting like they were this rugged outdoors family that just lives off the land and has all of this survivalist instinct within them, it just has fallen apart. And now what are they doing? Well, that's what we're going to get into today, because this family, for a bunch of people who have never been around technology and wondering what the hell a television was in season 1, they seem to be very tapped into technology, as all of them do, except for the alcoholic one who lives on his own in a car. We'll get into that story maybe. They're just battling on TikTok live 24/7, which, if you've not heard of battle culture on TikTok, we're also going to get into that too. It's pretty much the most late stage capitalist sad bullshit that you're ever going to watch people waste their money on. So today we're going to be getting into how the grift has been fully exposed for the family of the Alaskan bush people. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you never miss an upload of mine. And let me know if you'd want me to react to the show at some point after this. I actually thought it would be really funny content because it makes me irrationally angry how stupid the show is, yet how many people believe it's real. If you follow their fan accounts, I mean, pretty much all the boomer Gen X people that watch this show love this family to death and think they can do no wrong and think that they are actually people living out in nature. Now, it's kind of crazy, but a lot of them have actually found some pretty solid success on social media, and no one has embodied that more than Bear, the king of extreme. In fact, this guy loves being extreme so much that every time he does something extreme, aka like random tree parkour you'd do in 2nd grade, he yells out the word extreme. And he does it so much that me and my wife has just become a vocal stim around our house. If we do some random bullshit where we have both feet leave the air at any point in our day-to-day life, you've got to yell out extreme. But yeah, before we get into the TikTok live sadness, I'm gonna let Bear explain how the show was not fake from his point of view, which I think he actually might be having such delusions of grandeur and grown up. Granted, he was like, I think, over 18 when the show started, but he grew up with, you know, filming this show, and I think he's been believing his own bullshit for so long that he truly thinks they are some crazy nature family. So let's hear his take on if the show is fake.
Hello, Mike. Thank you very much for asking a question. Let me see if I can't give
This is
you
jarring, bro. Film this
answer.
indoors.
Is the show fake? Was the show fake? No, the show is not fake at all. The show is not scripted. The show is not staged. Nobody ever told us what to wear, what to say, or what to do. The production company simply followed around my family and documented our life as we lived it.
I mean, I could partially believe this. When I react to this show, inevitably, like I said, I'll probably do. We're going to be seeing a lot of times where it is truly them just speaking their mind. I mean, there's some stupid shit that they say on this show that I think only the mind of people like this could imagine what they say. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of it probably isn't scripted, but to say that none of this was scripted is just crazy, because throughout the show, they have a very formulaic way of editing these episodes. Pretty much leading up to every commercial break, there is some sort of catastrophic failure with their boat, with a bear that comes into their campsite, with a plethora of things that just cause them to all freak out. This tense music happens, and then as soon as you come back from commercial, it's pretty much chill, and they've got it sorted out off camera or something. I don't know, I just find it rich that he says nothing has been scripted. Like, if you want us to believe you, at least say some of it was scripted.
They might be like, hey, could you say that again if we said something and they missed it, because there are a lot of us. And I've had some people say that they've seen writing credits on the end of the show. The reason that there are writing credits, guys, is because we're asked interview questions, and so those interview questions are written by producers and writers and stuff that ask us the questions in the interview. Nobody ever wrote us stuff to say. We are not actors at all. I'm an aspiring actor, but I was never an actor on the show. That simply followed my life and my family and the way that we live.
So yeah, according to him, that's just the way that they lived, and they just happened to put out cameras, and whatever they filmed was how they would have been naturally, which again, if you've ever seen this show, could not be farther from the fucking truth. I mean, they're trying to lead us to believe that this kid hunts fish with his bare hands, which I find it funny. This scene is supposed to be super extreme, but I'm pretty sure these fish are just at the end of their lives, you know, not really putting up a fight, just trying to lay their eggs or however it works. And this dude's like, yeah, I got a fish, extreme. I just can't. So this is all a preface to say how long they've been lying about the fact that this show is real and that they were out in nature, living off of the land, out in the bush. And trust me, we're still going to get into the TikTok live portion because it's hilarious, frankly. But we got to talk about the other 50%, or it's probably a bigger percentage, of Bear and everybody else's content when it comes to social media, which is trying to bargain with the fans to create hubbub with Discovery about, you know, restarting the show, because clearly this was the only thing they ever had going for them. And now that these checks from the show have stopped, I think they're drastically panicking, because none of these people have any job talents or skills they've been developing. I don't think any of them work normal jobs or ever did throughout the show. They're basically screwed over by their family because they were taught, hey, we're just gonna act like we lived in the woods and it's gonna work out forever. We'll always be on TV making these millions of dollars, which is, I think, why a lot of them have gravitated towards this kind of sad e-begging culture on TikTok live duels, which is just such a sad section of the internet that I find hilarious that it even exists. But let's hear one of those pleas to Discovery, or at least an update from Bear about how the show is, the state of the show. This guy seems to be constantly living in limbo. Like, yep, I talked to him last weekend. I think the show's gonna come back, guys. It's gonna come back. It needs to come back. Please let it come back. Like, you could just tell he's so desperate.
I talked to the Discovery guys not too long ago, actually, and I wanted to do an official word of Alaskan bush people. So it's my number one thing I'm always asked is Alaskan bush people coming back? Is Alaskan bush people canceled and stuff? And so I reached out and I just asked him again. It had been about a year or so since I talked to him about what the show's position was now. And so I reached out and was like, hey, I just wanted to check to see if the show was officially canceled or not, because I'd like to let my followers know if so. And the guy I know at Discovery, he's this big wig Discovery dude. He oversees a ton of the shows and stuff. Big wig guy for sure.
A lot of connections.
He's like, let me reach out to the team and get a word for you, Bear. I'm like, thanks, appreciate it. So I heard back from him, and he's like, Bear, the official word for the show is still it's on hiatus. They just don't want to let it go right now. They have a lot going on. They're doing a lot, and they've got this merger thing, and then they have this possible new merger going on right now.
Which is kind of dark, but I find it hilarious if somebody is over at Discovery just stringing along this fucking guy, like, just as a form of entertainment. Like, yep, there might be a show in the future, Bear. Just keep working hard in your TikTok live battles, and maybe we'll bring you back. But the reality is they're never going to bring this fucking show back. When Billy died, the father of this family, who kind of is the one who invented the entire grift of their family acting like they were living out in the woods in the first place, he was the glue, all right? He kept everybody together, and after that, there's just started being scandal after scandal. In fact, the oldest sibling has some very, very serious allegations about him from a producer of the show, so that alone is going to cause this relationship to never come back between Discovery and this godforsaken family. And I say godforsaken because they act like they are like super religious and they're, you know, these well-intentioned people, and really all they want to do is siphon money out of these poor old fans that believe their bullshit. It's crazy. And sadly, I'm sure there's gonna be a few of them in my comment section on this video trying to defend them, saying, no, Graham, you don't understand, it's real.
Where it's possibly on the market for sale by like some, it was like, what was it? It was like some big company or something like that. And so the official term for Alaskan bush people is still on hiatus. Now, I know a lot of people think that it's been canceled and things like that, but it actually isn't. It's still considered on the back burner.
Guys, don't say it's canceled. It's on hiatus,
well,
okay?
Because, you know, it's been so long. And I thought for sure they were going to be like, nah, Bear, it's canceled. But nope, they just don't want to let it go right now. And they still think that they may be revisiting it one of these days.
They don't want to let it go, Bear? Or you don't want to let it go. BFFR, please. Anyways, now we're gonna get into the funniest evolution of them. I kind of forgot that they existed because, again, I watched this show, I think during COVID a little bit, and I realized it was just the best entertainment to also make me mad at how stupid society could be for believing this show is real. But I could have never imagined that 5 years later after that, I would be seeing this whole family getting together to eBay on TikTok live battles. Now, for those who don't understand what you're about to be seeing, I'm giving you a warning. It's going to be extremely overwhelming, okay? Like, seriously, there's lots of sounds, there's lots of shit going on the screen. Basically, they're side by side on each of their phones on TikTok Live, and they have a battle where there is a timed section where their fans send in gifts for no reason other than winning this battle that lasts about 90 seconds. And whoever wins the battle with more points takes home the entire treasure trove of these gifts, which can equate from, you know, cents to multiple hundreds of dollars if the battle's big. And what's crazy is I feel like I always scroll past and see them live. I don't follow any of them, but I always see them live doing battles because TikTok knows I love to hate watch this family. And I feel like they're streaming for 6 or 8 hours a day. And each of these battles last, I think, 5 minutes. So they're basically just rinsing and repeating this infinite money glitch with their boomer Gen X fans, where they're sending in all these gifts just to beat the sibling who is probably sharing the money with the other sibling in general anyways, because this is the way they make money now.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Donnie, thank you, Donnie, thank you, Sassy. Don't touch yourself, Sassy. Donnie, I chant the name of anyone that drops confetti. Donnie, Donnie.
So basically, they're making fools of themselves, screaming out the name of whatever person, whatever sad schmuck, just barely scraped together $10 to send to them in the middle of this battle. And neither of them mute the other party, so you're hearing both spaz out, not paying attention to each other, just being like, oh, come on, we're 3,000 points behind, we're 1 galaxy behind, come on, guys, please. It's just so sad that they're trying to rally their fan base, and they make it seem like, oh, we won that battle. Again, this is something I've said about multiple creators. When someone starts saying we, talking about their monetary gain or their audience gain on YouTube, stay the fuck away from that, bro. That is parish social as hell. I really try to not have my wording be that way. I think I used to in the past out of just habit and seeing other creators do that, but I hate when people do that. What do you mean we won this battle, bro? We, collectively, the viewers, well, not me because I'm not participating, but the donators just paid your rent with this battle. There's no we here. I guess the only we is the people giving you money, but like, don't act like you're just sharing these spoils, dude.
Renan, I'm sorry, my apologies.
And I want you to think about the fact that people sit here and watch this for hours on end. And they do these little like augmented reality things and they're like, oh, I got a crown, I'm a queen.
Warm, so my cheeks get a little red when I'm warm. Thank you.
And the way they talk about some of these people, it makes it sound like they are regulars that are constantly coming in. In fact, I think in one of these clips, Bear talks about somebody that he sees in Birdie's chat, who's his sister here that he's battling. And he's like, oh yeah, if Rich is in here or whatever the guy's name is, I know he's not going to support me if I battle her, but usually he supports us a lot, chat. So there are recurring people donating to this bullshit, helping perpetuate their just absolute lack of contribution to society. And I know I say that, I'm really on a high horse here saying that as a YouTuber, but dude, what the fuck are they adding by just begging for random pixels to be added to their screen thanks to their fans' wallets? It's crazy to me. And they don't just 1v1. No, sometimes they get the whole family involved, or they at least try to get as many as they can.
That way,
okay.
That way, if I write
Mirror?
something that, so for instance, that
It's
way.
confusing, but it's under the 3 dots somewhere. There's like mirror image. If you turn it off, it makes it where you're not in a mirror. Try to part your hair that way. It's gonna be difficult.
Well,
Oh,
so
my hair. Have you
not
seen
for
my
me.
part?
I'm used to it not being mirrored.
And the dynamics these siblings have with each other. This is Bam Bam. He's the one who's really continuing the father's personality of just acting like a complete know-it-all while also knowing jack shit. I just find it so funny that these people went from, oh, what are Listerine strips? I don't know anything about real society. I'm basically Amish, to let me work this intricate phone app to basically beg and panhandle online for hours a day in front of my phone. Also pay attention to the fact that none of them except for Birdie even tries to act like they ever go outside anymore. I mean, they're always streaming indoors. Not at all saying that because they live this lifestyle they have to always, but they definitely still try to have the image of being outdoorsy people while not really showing any outdoorsy content.
Free for all, free for all, free for all. Free with no, free for all.
And now they just invited this random guy to join.
I don't know if there's anyone on TikTok that tough. Karis could probably take us all, and Millie was.
But yeah, we're just gonna wrap this out with a little battle scene from them, just to hear how fucking mind-numbingly stupid these streams really are.
Thanks for the double taps and triple taps as well, guys. Really appreciate the support. Y'all guys don't push yourself. Hey, Jane, how's it going? Why not? Thanks for following. Yeah, I don't think Noah's on, Becky. Otherwise, I'd have invited him too. Oh my goodness, infamous. Yeah.
It's just sad, bro.
Thank you. Don't touch yourself, now, guys. Okay. We're currently we're at least in second place. We're in second place. Sandra, thank you very much for the shares. Appreciate it. Jane.
And the entire time, Bear's sitting here like, guys, I don't expect to win. It's all right. You've done great tonight. Like, it's all right if we don't win this one. Actually, like, acting like he's giving permission to his fan base to not donate all of their money for this round. Like, I'm sorry. If you donate money to these live battles on TikTok, that is like, that's even worse than lighting your money on fire. At least lighting your money on fire would give you warmth, you know? I think that is actually the worst thing you could do with your money. Like, at least off the top of my head. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments below. If you want me to react to the full show, I would love to go through episode by episode or season by season and just react to the dumbest shit this family gets up to, thinking that we're gonna believe it. And I guess a lot of people did believe it because, again, they went on for 10 seasons. But as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace out.